Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Carol here. I'm going to do a ring pour that I end up blinging out. And I'm doing it on already used canvas, so that's why I have a layer of thin gold down. So let me tell you my colors quickly. The first dark blue is Prussian blue, phthalo blue, metallic blue, and metallic purple. Then there's white, which is metallic white, and Decoart satin enamel true white. The reddish Bordeaux type color was magenta mixed with metallic red, brilliant red, metallic blue, metallic purple, and a touch of Prussian blue to get that tint. Then I've also got phthalo blue mixed with a touch of metallic violet and metallic blue. And then of course there's 24 karat gold Decoart. And everything's mixed pretty much 1-to-1 with my medium, but each one may be a little different depending on the consistency of the paint to start. My medium is 2 parts Elmer's glue all, 1 part water, so it'd be like a cup of glue all mixed with half a cup of water. I let that sit overnight or longer so that it settles. And what I've been doing is I put my paints in a cup and I mix with a little bit of high gloss varnish, just a splash, before I add my medium. So here we are pouring out the ring. Colors are so gorgeous when they come out. My paint's fairly thick. I could stand my stick up in the cup. That's the consistency I like, so that it will keep its rings. You'll also notice that the base coat I put down of gold looks like Swiss cheese, and that's because the painting underneath had silicone and I forgot to wash that off. So keep that in mind, everyone, because if you're going to paint over an old painting or you're going to varnish or resin it, you need to get that silicone residue off. And there's multiple ways to do it. I mix a little bit of dishwashing liquid and water and just take a slightly dampened cloth with that mixture, wipe it down, rinse out the cloth, wipe it down again, and then dry it and just let it dry. I don't scrub because you actually will pull some paint off if you do so. But some people use dry powder. There are multiple ways to remove the silicone. The important thing is that you do. So as you see what I'm doing here, I decided to wreck part of the ring with my fork. Now, unfortunately, I pour so much off, only a small portion of that remains in the upper corner, but it still looks cool. So this is 2 times speed, but you can see that I'm still moving it pretty slow, so you can imagine how slow it is at regular speed. You just have to do this slowly and have patience so that you don't wreck your whole composition. And I bring the weight back to the center before I move on to another direction so that I can better control where the bulk of my paint is going. Now, those colors look really gorgeous, that gold and that deep red color, but I want you to know that the gold definitely ended up doing more sinking than expected and left more of a beautiful shimmer than it did leave stripes. So as you're watching me pour this off and are sitting in your chairs going, stop, that's good, stop there, trust me when I tell you it would not have dried this way. I stretched it out because I was trying to get the center to open up more, because it had a lot of colors underneath, but it was kind of just muddy. And I kept on trying to tip things off and get that center to spread out. And then what happened is I ended up tilting it back toward myself, trying to just hook the corner of that center, and I grabbed too much of it, and it ended up just stretching the whole thing out, and I really lost the whole center then. There you go. That's where I did it. And now I'm not liking it at all. As you can see, there's just not enough definition in that center area. That is opening up and looking boring. So I kept on tilting. There was a lot of paint on there. It's a 16 by 20 canvas. Probably need under 11 ounces to cover the whole thing. And I put more than that. Then what you're seeing here is I took a little cup and mixed in about 1.5 ounces of the leftover colors and just decided to pour a little ring in the center and make my own center. There's no reason why you can't add to or take away to correct your pours as you're going. If you don't like a section, scrape it off. And as I did here, re-pour. Now I'm looking at it and I'm not really seeing a ring anymore. I'm seeing more like a slice of GEODE agate. And now I'm thinking, okay, that's where I'm going. I want that center to be the focal point, and I want this to look like a slice of agate and a GEODE. So I decided that I was going to do what some other artists I've seen do to their paintings lately, and that's bling it out. And I'm going to use resin to do so, and crushed glass and some other things, but you could do it with just glitter and Mod Podge or something else if you don't want to get into resin. Even just some glue that dries clear to attach your bling to the canvas. But I'm going to use resin. So I'm really just getting it to where I want it now. And you can see up in that one corner is the only place where that forked rect stripes are. I'm just going to give it a quick torch and wait till it dries. Here we are. This is dry, and you can see how a lot of the color sunk. So now that's the resin I'm mixing up. I'm throwing in some crushed glass, and then I have some colored crushed glass I made myself. I took that clear crushed glass, put it in a cup, mixed a couple drops of alcohol ink in of the color I wanted, mixed it up, and then poured it out onto a paper towel, spread it out and let it dry, and there you go. So I put in magenta and I put in a cobalt blue. Now that's I think it was called Rain Glitter. And then that is also another kind of a glitter. And I will list everything in the bottom, in the description, the paints, the resin colors, etc. So now I'm just going to give it the geode shape, and some of the liquid and the glitter came out first, so I've got to go in with my stick and take out lumps of the glass. And I'm going to do this in a couple places where it looks like a natural, geode striping to me. I only mixed up maybe 7 ounces or so of resin. Maybe it was 8, I think. And then I just mixed it in, as you saw, with all the glass. And after I get this all out there, I'm going to let it sit for a few hours before I touch it again. I'm using Famowood resin, which I really would not recommend for big projects because it only gives you 10 to 15 minutes working time. But that's the only kind I have because I use it to coat my canvases. And now that I've been doing more resin work, making coasters, etc., I am going to have to change up the resin I use because it really makes me have to work like a crazy person because it just sets up so quickly. But having said that, I do love the results. It's basically for tabletops, so it is resistant to heat up to about 110, 120 degrees, so, you know, for cups of coffee and such. That's why it works for coasters. So then here, after a couple hours, I came in with, I have a metallic acrylic pens. They aren't Posco. They're just a generic brand, but I will mark that in the bottom too. And first I'm putting around what is kind of a rose goldish color, and then I will go back around with gold. And I'm not going to overdo this, but I will put more lines around the outer areas that I put the glass to. At this point, it's been a few hours, so the resin is pretty set up, a little sticky, of course, but this stuff sets up quickly, so I could do this. Some other resins you might have to wait 6 or 8 hours or longer, depending. So you just have to follow those directions and see how your resin reacts when you do it. And every so often, I was wiping the tip of the marker off with a baby wipe, just to make sure that any remnants of resin that it might have grabbed didn't stay on there and dry, because then that'd be the last time I used that marker. Then after I do this, I let it sit another few hours, and then I came back in with about 6 ounces of clear resin. I put maybe a 1/4 teaspoon of the rain glitter in, and a little bit of the blue glass into the center, and I just poured a coat over the whole thing to seal it. I did try to film that, and for some reason it didn't take, so that's why I'm telling you now. And get ready for the dried results coming up. Okay, so here we go. This is dried. Look how blingy and pretty it looks. See that little bit of glitter over the whole thing? Not a lot. I wasn't trying to make it look obnoxious, but I just wanted it to all be tied in together. How beautiful. I'm really, really pleased with how this turned out. And I hope you enjoyed watching. If you're new to my channel, I hope you will subscribe, give me a thumbs up, click the bell for future notifications. That will be lovely. As you can see right here, this is the things that happened because of the silicone I didn't clean off. Fortunately, when it came up and brought the gold shimmer with it. So that worked to my advantage, or that could have been a nightmare. So I'm really, really happy with this and how it came out. My first blinged out canvas, and I'll probably be doing more. I hope you enjoyed it, everyone. I'll be back again with more videos, acrylics, resin, all kinds of things. And until then, please stay safe, be kind, and have a great day.